Before starting this video, I just wanted to warn you guys that there is some slight flashing in the beginning. I am so sorry. I didn't realize when I was recording that there was a glare in my screen and I couldn't edit it out. I also want to give a brief trigger warning. This video touches slightly on some heavy themes: trauma, loss, depression, self-worth, and implied self-deleting ideation. After 2 years, I overcame my fear and painted Caleb. Hi, my name is Bryn. I am an artist who is beginning to heal, and this is my art journey. My best friend told me it's all muscle memory. I just needed to warm up, and I just needed to get back into it and just dive in. I didn't really understand what she meant, or I was too afraid to take that leap. To understand my fears, let's go back to the very beginning. In 2023, my first attempt at my art business. Some of you might remember these videos. I used to try to post every day. I did many pieces, but financial issues were coming up. I became frantic and panicked. I did everything I could to possibly become a full-time artist. I posted every day. I tried to draw faster. I tried to mainstream my art. I applied to conventions, but nothing worked, and I felt like a complete failure. I was crushed. I took jobs that allowed me to survive, jobs that took everything from me. I tried to take classes in design, hoping that it would make me faster and bigger money, but the reality that came crashing down, and I felt like I had failed again. Every step I took, every decision I made, everything I did felt wrong. I felt like I was getting further and further away from my art, and each path I took became longer and longer detour from my dreams. I continued a cycle of survival, depression, burnout, and failure, and I became afraid. I became afraid of my own art because I was afraid that I couldn't digitally paint like I used to do, and I became crippled by my own expectations of my own art. It wasn't until the passing of my grandmother that I hit rock bottom. I had given up my job to become her caretaker through the last months of her life and help my family, but I felt like I didn't have a life anymore, that my life didn't matter, and I no longer had art, and I was crippled by financial issues, and the cycle I was desperately trying to get out of, I never could. It was then my healing journey began. I got help. I rediscovered myself. I learned strategies and techniques that would help me get through the day one step at a time. I slowly started to do art. I began to draw every day, not for anyone, that would get me more views. I overcame my fear of getting a job. I felt like I was on the up and up, and then I was finally going to make it this time, that I broke the cycle I was always in, but that came crashing down. With the weight of everything I carried and my flame burning out once more, with what little money I had left, I left my job and decided to try my art business again. I was confident I knew my mistakes and I wouldn't repeat them. I made it further this time, but in the end, I still made the same mistakes as before, but in different ways. My art that I enjoyed doing was just a means to an end, not what I truly loved. It wasn't until a few good deep therapy sessions that I understood what I needed to do, what I wanted to do with my art, and the steps I needed to take to allow myself to slowly break free. I made comics and animatics, drawings of fictional men that I really liked, that I felt free. I felt like I was myself, that I felt like things would truly start being okay. Everything but digital painting. The one thing I was truly too scared to go back to. In my darkest time, I truly believed I wasn't an artist, and I honestly believed I wasn't, even though it could be stated otherwise. But the art I loved making so much, the paintings I used to do, the high expectations of perfectionism, realism, was too much. I became crippled by my fear, and I wallowed in it. I made every excuse in the book in my head to not digitally paint like I did before, even though I knew that's what I wanted. I was too afraid to take that leap of faith my best friend told me to make because I was scared that I wasn't good enough like I used to be. I was too scared to do what I wanted, too scared to do what I needed to do, but I was also too scared to go back to how things were, that I became paralyzed. It wasn't until my best friend gave me the push I needed with a statement of who cares. That push made me take that leap of faith, and she was right. It was all muscle memory. It was all just a little warm-up that I began to paint. I painted something I love, something that gave me comfort, something that brought me joy. A hot tooting man. No, just kidding. But really, Caleb is a mirror of me. Not completely, but a reflection of me. Trauma loops, obsession, a little crazy and intense, but a heart in the right place. He is the me I always used to hate. The me that I used to reject because others rejected or neglected me. But through him, I am able to see myself. If I can love him and accept him crazy and all, then why can't I love myself? He's sweet but a little psycho, but he's my psycho, and I love him, and through him, I'm starting to begin to heal and love myself a little bit more.